forges. It sound like I wanna scratch it. Try to take the ring, I'ma tackle you. I guess I'm a Super Bowl bachelor. Go hard in the gym, no cameras. I think I see blood, no Dracula. I'm an animal, eating up amateurs. Too active, y'all can't handle it. No taxing, we'll dismantle it. Shake up the building and ramble it. Whip it, shut up the critics and analysts. Come through dripping, I'ma set it off. Game after game, you can bet it off. Quarterback got range if you block them off. Quarterback did an option and set it off. Duck goose linebacker coming through. Yeah, hit him with the spin of the Jew. Yeah, we gon' blow your block like a new. Yeah, and I spend a dime every two. We gon' lock down on the offense. Bust down the skeleton fossil.
This is Madden 19. I'm the coach. You're locked into the NFL on EA Sports. Straight ahead, we'll see the Cleveland Browns behind the #1 overall pick in the draft, Baker Mayfield, do battle with Big Ben Roethlisberger, and the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'll be back with you again with scores around the league at halftime. But kickoff right around the corner. And standing by to call the action, here are Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach. EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to the steel capital of the world, Pittsburgh, PA, at Heinz Field. Moments ago, a scene that's played here since 2004. Big Ben Roethlisberger greeted by this sold-out Heinz Field crowd. His Steelers getting set to match up with the Cleveland Browns. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Charles, we look at this Steeler ball club entering play. They come in feeling good after back-to-back victories. Meanwhile, for the Browns here, we're in October now, so everybody should be coming into form, shouldn't they?
They really should, and what you have now is a full routine established about what you want to get done and full focus on the season.
Lurching closer toward the midway point of this NFL season, and we're underway on EA Sports. This is taken at the 3. And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards, up to the 27-yard line. So here come the Browns for their first drive on offense. Orchestrating the offense will be the top pick in the 2018 draft, and that's Baker Mayfield.
And I'll bet right now it's just one thought in his mind.
Win the game, yeah.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. He played pretty well. I mean, he didn't turn over the ball in terms of interceptions,
no,
right?
2 touchdown passes last week.
2 touchdown passes, but when your team doesn't win, that's just hollow. And the best quarterbacks don't care about anything but whether or not their team won.
Mayfield going to lead the Browns up now, 1st and 10.
All right, here we go. Green, 30.
They'll run for the first time with Johnson. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8. And the big boys up front in the trenches. What do you think of the O-line, Charles?
I love them because this is a group that's so cohesive. They know what the man next to them is going to do at all times, and they operate as a terrific unit.
Here we go now. Green, 39.
On 2nd down, Johnson. And he works his way forward for a couple up past the 30. Now the starting lineup here defensively for Pittsburgh. They're currently 6th in the NFL in defending the run.
I jotted down in my notes in prepping for this game that this is definitely an area we got to keep an eye on because you're talking about where they rank in stopping the run. Well, how about what they're facing? This unit loves to run the football, and they rank highly in the league in getting it done.
Yeah, power against power. Something's got to give. On 3rd down, Mayfield. He's got his tight end in Njoku. And they bring him to the ground just shy of midfield. Big yardage there for the Browns, 18.
Brandon, that's a tough guy right there. He knew that was going to happen. In other words, he had to absorb that hit. How about him securing the football, churning the legs a little bit, and gaining what he needed for a first down?
Well, that's the deal. On 3rd down, these guys, they know where the sticks are. He obviously knew right there.
And if you want to be a dependable 3rd down receiver, you've got to be willing to absorb those types of hits and make those sort of plays.
And a quick throw here, that's complete. That throw good for 4. It's 2nd down. 4 yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6.
Now let's go. Blue landing.
Now a Johnson. And the stop here will come at the 38-yard line. They get 9 out of that one, and as a result, the drive continues.
Well, I think that's what they're going to need to do here in the first half. You've got to take some pressure off of this young quarterback, and no better way to do it than to establish the running game early.
Here's Johnson, and able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. Give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
Johnson on the counter. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield.
All right, quick observation, Brandon, because early on in this game, I'm seeing linebackers playing with their noses close to the line of scrimmage.
And my guess is the wheels are turning on that other sideline. As a play caller, you're filing that away right now, aren't you?
Yeah, you're trying to find that opportunity later on when you can play action them or stick something to them between the 2nd and the 3rd level.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. The Steeler defense locked in, forcing an upcoming 4th down.
All right, that one fell incomplete there, but the best quarterbacks, they'll miss on 40% of their throws somewhere in that neighborhood, similar to a great hitter in baseball who's going to fail 7 out of 10 times and still have a great year. In this case, you want perfection, but way better that it hits the ground instead of going to an opposite color jersey.
Well, that opening drive looked good for a moment there, but they'll wind up being turned away thanks to the missed field goal.
And those especially hurt when you come into a game on the road. You're trying to get things to go your way early, and now you suffer a setback right out of the gate.
Here's Roethlisberger, dancing to his left, and he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Christian Kirksey in there to sack him for a loss of 6.
And so much for that great field position to start the game. Now they're way behind the sticks. Can't wait to see what their 2nd down call is going to look like now.
Some strong running, and they've got it well across midfield down to the 40 before it's all said and done. That's good for 21 yards and a 1st down.
And that's why defense coordinators always preach 11 guys to the ball, because sometimes you have a missed tackle, but if you have a swarm of guys around, less room for them to roam even after the first missed tackle. In this case, tackle was missed, plenty of open field to get after that.
Right back to him on 1st down. And he'll be brought down just outside of the 30. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1. Le'Veon Bell saga, that continues to drag on, but James Conner, he's showing he can handle the load. 19 carries, 111 yards last week against Cincy.
And when I saw him in preseason, I knew he was back to being the James Conner we saw at his best in college at Pitt.
And the Browns pressure gets to him that time, and he's going to go down. Myles Garrett, he's the one to get him, and that's sack number 7 for him on the year. Charles, a little bit of feast or famine on this drive. They moved the ball okay, but they've been sacked twice now.
And they've got to figure out how to play.
Back with Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin. It's Steeler football to begin quarter number 2. They're in the midst of a nice drive, but facing a 3rd and long here. Out of the gun, it's Roethlisberger. He gets it to Graham, complete. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. It'll be a gain of 17 and a Pittsburgh 1st.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. He'll buy some time right. That's going to be caught. And he's brought down after a very nice gain. 23 yards on the play.
Looked like the defense put pretty good pressure on him, but he's able to flush out to his right to try and evade people. On the run, had to get on his horse. Still accurately throws a nice pass for a 1st down.
And the head coach reaches for the red flag, tosses it down on the field. He wants a challenge here. Well, he challenged the play. It did not pay off.
And that means he lost a timeout in that challenge.
And as a coach, you hate that. Don't know if you took the advice of the player, you threw it yourself, but it didn't go your way.
At the end of the day, it all comes back to the head coach. He has the final determination on whether to actually challenge the play or not. In this case, it didn't pay off for him.
And that's got to be so heartbreaking. You throw that flag, you probably feel really confident, and then all of a sudden, boom, you lose the challenge.
Yeah, when you take a look at it, you're throwing that flag because you believe you're going to be right. And when it comes back the other way, you have to regroup.
Flush to his right. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked up by the former first-round pick, Demarius Randall. Well, let's take a step back and look league-wide here, Charles. What contender do you think is in the most trouble through 6 weeks? I would not have thought Jacksonville a couple of weeks ago, but, boy, very flat performances against KC and Dallas.
Yeah, and we expect them to be a dominant team on the defensive side of the ball week in and week out, and Dallas just shredded them in their game on Sunday. But I don't think Jacksonville's in as much trouble as maybe Denver is. Denver's 2-4, 4 straight losses, and Kansas City's setting a heck of a pace in the AFC West. Vance Joseph, the second-year coach in Denver, many thought he wouldn't return after last year. Got a second opportunity. This isn't helping him. And last but not least, if we're talking about this group of people, how about the Atlanta Falcons? They're also 2-4, but they got a much-needed win against Tampa Bay on Sunday. If we knew they could get their defensive players back, I'd like them a lot more. They've got a tough road ahead of them, but Matt Ryan, he can help equalize things out.
Here we go now.
Mayfield from the gun on third down. To the right side and complete to Njoku. And they nearly get this all the way to midfield. Mark him down at the 49. And a big third down conversion with a gain of 28.
But when you hit him on the move like that, and he's able to get into open field with a full head of steam, oh, boy, it's going to be tough to get him down.
Yeah, there was a big window. They're lucky they did get him down. Mayfield to throw it. And the tip there altered the ball flight, and it falls incomplete. It'll be second down. Well, Charles, after Kansas City losing to New England this past week, we only have one undefeated team remaining. The Rams, 6-0, and they barely beat Denver, but they got it done.
They certainly did. They actually set the pace in that game, Brandon. They got out to a pretty nice lead, and then Denver chopped into it, and the Rams held on late. But you can do that when you have Todd Gurley as your lead running back. Over 200 yards for him. The Rams, as you noted, the last undefeated team in the NFL, and no signs of cooling off, even though they had to go to Denver. Snow in Denver in October, and what was it at kickoff, 25 degrees?
25.
How about that? That didn't even cool those guys off.
This week they'll be at San Francisco trying to get to 7-0.
Well, no second-guessing the call here. It was third and long, so throwing the football was probably the smart play to try and pick it up. But they don't get it, and now the defense goes off the field feeling pretty good about themselves, gaining some momentum as they force them into a likely punting situation.
A good return there. Call it 13 yards. And the Steelers are going to take over 1st and 10 deep in their own territory. Big Ben and the Steelers with a 1st and 10 at their own 16. The drive will start with Connor. And not a whole lot to speak of there as they'll bring him down shy of the 20. 2 minutes remain in a scoreless first half. Coming up at halftime, we remind you once again that we're going to check in with Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL as we reach now, hard to believe, the halfway point of the season. Time flying.
It certainly is. Time to get the sweaters out, my man.
And a short pickup there as he'll take this up to right around the 20. Calling a gain of a couple, and that's going to leave him with a 3rd and about 5.
He was hoping to get to the edge, but they did a really nice job of forcing him back inside. That's excellent fundamental defensive.
And he's taken down. This will be a Browns sack. And now a timeout called defensively by the Browns, as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. On 4th down, here comes the Steeler punter Jordan Berry to kick it away. Back deep, Jarvis Landry. Officially, that'll be a 63-yard punt. Well done. And the Browns will take over with a 1st and 10 deep in their own territory. Mayfield going to lead the Browns up now, 1st and 10.
Here we go now.
On 1st and 10, Mayfield underneath for Johnson. And he'll be brought down, it looks like, right at the 15. 4 yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6.
Let's go. Green 39. Green 39.
From the shotgun, it's Mayfield. Throw left side, caught by the tight end Njoku. So he got free of 1 tackle, but couldn't do a whole lot else. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's 3rd down.
And, partner, I think that was a great example that not all tight ends are created equal. Because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
That's Njoku over the middle. And now before this first down play, we're going to get a timeout here, as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10.
All right, here we go.
They go play action here on 1st down. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest one is maybe you bring your running back in to try and keep you clean. But in that case, that didn't happen. 0 accountability, and a sack resulted.
So plenty of action on the field, but no action right now on the scoreboard, at least as of yet. 0-0 is our score. As we send you down to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. Hi again, everybody. Let's get you caught up with what's going on around the league here in the unofficial midway point, Week 8 of the NFL season. We'll start up in Charlotte. Baltimore in town to take on Carolina. And it's the Panthers who are out in front. Cam Newton with a couple of touchdown passes there. From there, we head to the Big Apple, more specifically to MetLife Stadium in Jersey to check on the Giants. And it's the visiting Washington Redskins who have the lead in that one. 2 touchdown passes for the veteran Alex Smith. Lastly, let's motor up to the Motor City. See what's happening with the Lions at home at Ford Field. And they trail in that ball game to the visiting Seattle Seahawks. Russell Wilson has thrown a touchdown pass. Meanwhile, in our game, to call it a defensive battle would be an understatement. 0-0 is our score. We'll be looking for something in that second half as we send it back to Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. After a rare scoreless first half, these teams now just looking for something as the second half gets underway. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. We focus our attention now on the quarterback, Ben Roethlisberger. And I guess the question, Charles, is what's the formula for keeping him better protected? Because as we see, the protection, it struggled.
And normally what you get is renewed determination. When the big guy gets hit, that usually sparks people. Hey, we can't let this happen anymore. They take it personally. He's not supposed to be on the ground, but that hasn't been the case so far in this game. So maybe they've got to figure out how do they get rid of the ball faster to help out the offensive line so he doesn't get hit as much.
And we'll see if they can keep him off the ground now going forward. A gain of 3, 2nd down.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
And he'll get about 4 across the 30 to the 32.
Well, if you're a football guy, that's a pretty run because everyone is in sync right there. Obviously, the guy carrying the ball, but how about the people up front? Leverage, athleticism, they created some nice space for him.
Now Roethlisberger to throw. Hard throw, incomplete. Another drive comes and goes, still nothing on the scoreboard.
Yeah, and when the second half comes, you know, it's real easy to get discouraged and wonder if you're ever going to get things started. You just got to fight through it. Got to keep pounding away.
He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. Landry now on the return. Well, he wasn't too far from breaking that. Officially, give him 15, and the Browns will take over 1st and 10. Mayfield going to lead the Browns up now, 1st and 10.
Here we go now. 3, 19.
A A first down throw for Mayfield. Rush coming, and he's taken down.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
Got to imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on second down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18. They'll hand it off now. Johnson. And he'll fight forward to about the 27-yard line. Call it a 3-yard gain, but they'll be forced into a 3rd and 15 coming up. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the third quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
Mayfield looks to throw. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete. We saw this a lot in the first half, and it continues. These receivers just not able to get much separation.
So that means they have to win the 50-50 balls. They've got to go up with the defender and find a way to start coming down with it.
And this time, contact and another incomplete pass. Very good return that time. 18 yards. And the Steelers will go on offense here, 1st and 10. Big Ben and the Steelers with a 1st and 10 at their own 28-yard line. From the shotgun, it's Roethlisberger. And they get to him with a pressure as Roethlisberger goes down.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
On second down, Roethlisberger. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. And he'll be brought down right at the 30 here. They get 11 back on that one. It leads to 3rd down.
I wonder what was going through his mind when he got the play call. He just got sacked on the previous play. He knows they're coming after him again. A little bit of guts to stand in there, take the hit, and successfully complete the screen pass. Really well done.
The ball popped in the air and intercepted. Picked off by the rookie Denzel Ward. And they'll set up shop right near midfield at the 49-yard line.
This interception will go on the record of the quarterback, but as a receiver, you've got to understand where you are in the field. Middle portion, you know it's going to come in hot. Square your body to the quarterback and be ready to make the catch.
And now Cleveland geared up to take the field. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come up.
Looking for Landry, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 25. And the return this time will go out to the 42-yard line. Trying to get it to Landry there with that incompletion. Let's discuss all the overtime games that we've had so far in the NFL. We've had 9 of them, at least one each week. Now, week 6, it was Miami and the Bears with the Dolphins getting the win.
Yeah, and you know something? That's an NFL record. Because that record was set week 5, an overtime game each of the first 5 weeks of the season. Now we're adding to the record, and I wouldn't doubt at all that we would get to 7 weeks and maybe beyond. It's been a very competitive NFL season.
Big Ben and the Steelers with a 1st and 10 at their own 43. After the interception, here's Roethlisberger. Man open left side is Brown. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. This drive starting off on the right foot, 18 yards.
There's no doubt about it. That's just one of the best connections in the league. Big Ben throwing it to Antonio Brown. And Antonio Brown has turned himself into such a player. A low-round draft pick, but you can't beat his determination or work ethic. And Big Ben welcomes that.
And Big Ben won a Super Bowl at 23, youngest ever to do so, has never looked back. A good convergence there defensively, only a yard, and it's 2nd down. They only got a yard out of that last completion, and that makes this 2nd and 9. They'll run it now out of the gun. And a short gain there down to the 37-yard line. Only a yard on the pickup, and now they've got a 3rd down and 8. The completion on first didn't get much, and now the run on second doesn't get a whole lot either.
Well, if you're a good play caller, you've already looked ahead and anticipated this type of situation. Already down in his play sheet, trying to dial up a big third down play.
And inside the 20 before he's brought down. The passing game in rhythm right now for Pittsburgh. There's another first down.
Nice catch right there. Brings to mind the sentence, when in doubt, find your veterans.
He used to laugh back in the day when they would call guys like him crafty veterans. You get up in your 30s, you're still playing receiver, but you're around that long at that position, you're doing something right. Back now in Pittsburgh as we are set to bring you the home stretch here, the fourth quarter. Roethlisberger will hand to Connor. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. Tackle made there by Myles Garrett. And he got off the end there very quickly to make that play.
Yeah, it was almost like the bullet train, wasn't it? I mean, just zoom. Quick, quick, quick. And what a terrific play, holding them to no gain.
Now it's Roethlisberger. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up third down.
Well, this at least is the right idea. I think they've got to get the tight end more involved.
He had just one target in the first half, incomplete. Now incomplete here with the first target in the second half.
Yeah, should not stop them at all from going back to him. They'll find him. Find him.
To throw here, Roethlisberger. A bullet throw, but incomplete.
Well, he'd been targeted quite a bit on this drive, and finally I think the guys on the defensive side, they said no more. They slapped the double coverage on him, made it very tough for him to get the ball.
So here we go. On now is the kicker, Chris Boswell. From the left hash, it's a 36-yard attempt. And Boswell's kick is good. And the Steelers will jump out to a 3-zip lead. Well, it took a while to get something, anything, on the scoreboard, but we finally have our first points of the contest.
So the question now becomes, can they make this one stand up? And the way that these defenses have played, those 3 points almost look like 30, don't they?
Yeah, those 3 points look like a miracle right now. Here comes the Browns offense back onto the field. And last time wasn't pretty. One play and an interception. We'll see if they can do better.
I want to see if they want to go ahead and throw the ball again now on this drive after what happened on the last one. Throw it on the first play. Give the quarterback some confidence.
See what happens. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. Give him 9 there on the first down completion.
Seeing that play and understanding just how tough it is to cover tight ends, especially the ones running around the NFL nowadays, makes me glad I didn't make it in that league. I would have had a really difficult time.
But now you get to sit up here with me.
Yeah, and that's fun, isn't it? And what a really nice game right there on first down for them. Brings up a nice second down for them.
They'll wind up losing 3. And now it's third down. The Browns on third down. They've hit it 50%, 3 of 6 to this point. This is 3rd and 4.
All right, here we go.
Working out of the gun, Mayfield. Pressure comes, and the Steelers take him down. And you hate to say it with a rookie quarterback. He's done some good things, but overall, looked a little bit overwhelmed back there, hasn't he?
He certainly has, but in his defense, he hasn't had a lot of time to throw the football. You like the way I said that? In his defense.
In his defense, I got it.
You
Yeah.
see what I did there?
Yeah, he needs better protection, that's for sure. Here's Britton Colquitt now as he's on to punt for Pittsburgh. A great return there of 22 yards. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Some good games going on in the early window. This might be the best of the bunch. They start with a give to Connor. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage on the play back at the 46. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down. And when do they start thinking about burning these timeouts? They've got all 3 still defensively.
To me, you have to start right now. Here's the time, and that means you've got to stop them on defense, not give up the yardage. Use your timeouts in order to get the ball back and try and score yourself. But now is the time to start using those timeouts.
And keep in mind, it'll also stop the clock at the 2-minute warning.
And this is why the head coach gets paid the big bucks. Look at where they are in this situation, partner. Do you throw the ball here in a long-distance situation? Do you run it again and trust your defense and make sure you take care of it?
That's caught inside the 20. And he takes this way down deep into Cleveland territory. A big play. Smith-Schuster on the throw from Big Ben. And even 40 yards.
You know I'm going to lean towards the defender, right? You know I'm going to do that.
I know.
That's a tough situation for him as I see it. But the truth of the matter is, that ball was not streaking towards him. Had a little arc on it. He's got to find a way to get his head around and make a play on the football.
So after the big play, look at this. All the way down at the 15 now on 1st and 10. Time for a break. We'll come back, see what transpires after this. So the Steelers with the football as we get you reset. They've got a 1st and 10 as they look to try and finish this one off. Here's Connor. And he was able to shed the tackle, but the reserves come in for the stop. And now we'll see a timeout used on defense as they stop it right out of the break with 1:57 to go in the ballgame. This, in all probability, another run here on 2nd and 8. They stay on the ground. Here's Connor again. And strong running there as he's inside the 10 and down to the 8-yard line. And now with 1:52 to go, we get another pause of the action. A timeout here defensively. And the Steelers on 3rd down. 3 for 7 so far in this game. This time it's 3rd and 3. Now it's Roethlisberger. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down.
Anytime a defense can sit back in a zone like that, it tends to create a lot of congestion in the middle of the field. Makes it very hard to slot one in.
Looked like I-4 at rush hour in your hometown of Orlando, Florida. An absolute mess. And here's a big one now. Try to hold this lead. They're going to go for it here on 4th down. They'll try and throw for it with Roethlisberger. And it's caught. And he will have the 1st down before he's brought down at the 3. And now we're going to get a timeout here called by the defense. And they'll be disappointed to have to burn one there after giving up the 1st down. They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he's in. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. A great effort there with touchdown number 8 on the year. And the Steelers find a way to stretch their lead.
Well, it'd be real easy to say that they are firmly in control right now, but I'm looking at your face and I'm thinking I've got to be careful with that.
Well, it's a 2-score game. You're inside of 2 minutes. I think you can breathe relatively easily now.
Yeah, you can, but still, you got to stay vigilant. You can't give up anything cheap and easy. That could put you in some jeopardy.
Important extra point up and through, and the lead grows to 10-0. Boswell on now to kick this one away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. And now Cleveland geared up to take the field. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means they're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of 1st downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down. Mayfield to throw. And this is going to be caught. He won the fight for the football. A really nice gain of 25 yards. 1st down now, but that clock rolling. Here's Mayfield. And the Steeler pressure too much here. He's going down. And we've reached the 1-minute mark in this game. Now Mayfield. Toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a 1st down. Well done. The Browns' passing game finding its stride. They've got another 1st down. Clock management definitely critical here if they want to get back in this game.
Absolutely agreed. They have to up the tempo in this case, down a couple of scores. Want to make sure they have a chance to win this ball game.
Now Mayfield. And he's going to be taken down. Pressure gets there back at the 39-yard line. T.J. Watt in there to take him down, and the clock will roll. And now we've got flags down. Looked like one of the Browns might have moved.
False start, offense.
But no reason for that from any wide receiver.
Oftentimes, you don't even hear the snap count, right? You just look inside, make sure the ball moves, then you take off. How he didn't do that is beyond me.
Mayfield. He's going to let it fly. And this is intercepted, and that should do it. Sean Davis with a pick. Thought they had something going there to break that goose egg here in the second half, but to no avail.
Hope was alive until that interception. What a terrific play, taking the ball away after it looked like they were starting a drive.
And now that shutout still standing. You know that's something those defensive guys hold a lot of pride on, too.
No doubt about it. They are excited about where they are in this game.
It's Connor as they stay on the ground. 9 yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1. The storyline in this one, Charles, no doubt the number 0. Zilch, nada. A shutout so hard to do in the NFL.
It really is, and what an accomplishment, because you feel that not just on the defensive side, but as a full team. There's a lot of pride that goes into shutting out an opponent. And how about that 0 on the scoreboard for them, going along with those zeros in the time column, too.
So for Pittsburgh, they pick up win number 4 on the campaign as they emerge victorious here. And they'll hit the road next week to take on the Baltimore Ravens. Meanwhile, for the Browns, it's loss number 5 for them on the year. And they'll get a home date next week against the Kansas City Chiefs. That'll do it for us. I'm Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. Thanks to our entire crew as well. We'll talk to you next time. So long, everybody.